Well, it's just gone 6 a.m. here at Spitzkoppe, and we're in the process of just packing everything up so we can hit the road early. We've got a long drive today, and we got to bed early last night and packed away as much as we could last night so that we could just pack up and go this morning. We've probably got mostly tar roads today, traveling north towards Etosha Pan, but once we get to Etosha, I think there's a long road traveling sort of west to east that is the main viewing road in the Pan, and I'm not sure what the condition of this road is, and even if the condition's good, there might be a lot of animals to see along the way, so it's going to be slow going. So early start this morning. Once again, just don't want to take chances with time, but hopefully everything runs smoothly.
As dawn breaks and we look back at the morning light turning the Spitzkoppe purple, I can't help but feel like I'm leaving part of my heart behind in this incredible place. But we've got so much more to explore over the coming days, and we're really excited and ready for what's to come. Soon we're back on the tar road and heading towards the town of Usakos. It's starting to look more like the Karoo now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Hopefully it starts getting a bit greener soon.
Just after passing the town of Karabib, we turn north and take the C33 as the landscape begins to change again. We have over 600 kilometers to cover today, but most of it would be on well-paved roads, so we keep chugging on. As we move further north, we start to see more bushveld. It's really starting to look like stereotypical Africa now, and the only thing that's missing is the animals. But that would come soon. The southern part of Namibia that we'd covered so far, the drier part, is traditionally home to the San people, but is very sparsely populated. As we move further north towards the part of the country that receives heavy seasonal rainfall, the country becomes more ethnically diverse, with more tribes of people calling it home, including Ovambo, Kavango, Herero and Damara people. The region that we're driving through now was the site of a brutal genocide, when back in the early 1900s the Herero and Nama people took up arms against German colonialism and were subsequently slaughtered, with 10,000 Namas and 65,000 Hereros killed. This was the first genocide of the 20th century, and many historians speculate that it laid the foundations for the Nazi genocide of the 30s and 40s. Today there are about 270,000 Herero people in Namibia, and you can tell which areas they call home by the town names, with the letters TJ in them, like Otjiwarongo and Ocho, which we'd be travelling through today. As we continue north, we begin to descend towards the Etosha Basin, as the mountains start to disappear. We've now done over 3,000 kilometers, just under half of our entire tour distance, and at this milestone we decide to pull over for lunch. Well, we've made really good time this morning. We left earlier than usual. We left around 7 a.m. and we expected to have a very long drive, but thankfully all the roads here have been tar, so we've been able to make quick progress. We're probably a little over halfway to our final destination, and it's only like 10 a.m. So we've had a little coffee break here between Otjiwarongo and Ocho. I think that's how you pronounce those towns. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we'll soon be hitting the road again, and soon we'll be arriving at the boundary gate to Etosha National Park. We'll pay our entrance fees, and we'll begin what should be a pretty awesome drive along the giant Etosha Pan. Hopefully we'll see some animals. The last decent sized town that we pass through is Ocho, and we pull into a petrol station to top up our tanks before our slow trek through the Etosha National Park. From here, it's a straight road to the entrance of the park. We spot a small village of Himba people on the side of the road with their traditional red clay hair, and shortly afterwards find ourselves at the entrance to one of Namibia's greatest and oldest parks. Etosha means great white place. Another word for it is kubus, the Bushman word for totally bare white place with lots of dust. Sounds like a mouthful, but that's nowhere near as bad as another place here on the southern border of the park, Undundozonananadana, meaning the place where young boy herding cattle went never to return. The white place with lots of dust is of course referring to the great Etosha Pan, which we'd be heading to very soon. And just like that, we are inside the Etosha National Park. It's crazy. I've always dreamed of coming to this place, and now we're here. So, big question remains, what's the first big animal that we're going to see? And where we're going to see it? What's the landscape going to look like? So many questions. It is the dry season now, so it's a lot drier than a lot of the pictures you see of this park. I think a lot of people tend to come here in the rainy season when there's more water lying around. But nonetheless, those same animals that are here in the summer or in the rainy season will be here in the dry season too. So let's see what we see. Just spotted some impala there on the side of the road, but that's pretty boring compared to what we're going to see later. At Okakuejo, the rest camp on the western side of the Pan, we pull in to pay our permits and sign in. Being one of the main parks in Namibia, this place is very well run and has plenty of fascinating history. The route we planned would take us along the southern edge of the massive Etosha Pan and finish up at Namutoni on the eastern side. This is a massive pan, so we had plenty of ground to cover.
Are you looking at the wildebeest lying down in the pan? We have 2 pairs of banners here if you want to borrow a pair.
Instead of just sticking to the main road, we ended up taking a few loops that led us away from the traffic, and this turned out to be a good decision as we started seeing some of the big five.
So there's not a lot that actually goes far off of this road, but there are a few loops and stuff that go off this road later. So right now we're heading towards the pan, and once we get close to the pan, there's a bunch of little loops that go like right against the edge of the pan. So we'll try to take some of those loops.
That sounds good. Let's move on to there then.
The pan itself was bone dry at this time of the year, but we knew that the salt and minerals in the crust might attract some wildlife, and as we drew nearer, we did see a few animals. For me though, the real eye candy was the pan itself, which seemed to go on forever. A truly otherworldly place.
One thing that's been a bit strange is to see animals alone, like to see a lone giraffe in the middle of nowhere and a lone elephant. That's not normal, is it? I mean, in South Africa I haven't seen a lot of that.
The bulls sometimes hang alone, but you won't find females alone. Especially the elephant. The elephant bulls roam around alone most of the time.
It was cooking outside, 38 degrees Celsius, and we were grateful for air conditioning. We saw our first Land Rover in Namibia, broken down on the side of the road. I know it's such a stereotype, but we did offer to help. The driver didn't want help though, so we let him be.
Yo guys, I thought Spitzkoppe was cool, but this is like Spitzkoppe on steroids. The horizon is completely empty in every direction except for that, which is the land where we came from. And it's cool here because this is one of the few parts of the park that actually allow you to get out of your vehicle. The rest of the park, there's obviously danger for, you know, rhinos, elephants, leopards and lions. It's not the kind of place you want to be walking around, but here on the pan, if you see a
a predator coming for you, you've got plenty of time to spot it and get back in your vehicle. So yeah, they allow you to get out here, and we've just hopped out in like 38 degrees Celsius temperatures, taking a few photos, and soon we'll be heading back on the road. We've got about 75 km to go to our campsite at Namutoni, so it's a very big park, got a lot of ground to cover, but we'll start heading in a easterly direction, and we should be there before sunset, I think. It was now starting to cool down a bit, and with the temperature dropping, the animals all suddenly started to come out of hiding. This last stretch towards the camp gave us the best sightings that we'd had the whole day. It was an awesome way to wrap up the day's drive. Well, it's about 20 to 6. We've just pulled in at Namutoni, which is our campsite within the Etosha National Park. Not the best of campsites, but I guess there weren't that many options for tonight. We're happy though, we're underneath a tree, we've got a place to sit, we've got a bright place, and we'll make the most of it. Start the fire soon, get some meat on the fire, and maybe take a walk around. I think there's even a swimming pool here, so we'll hop in and cool off. But for now, let's get camp set up and start to wind down. Got another very long drive tomorrow. It doesn't seem to end, but yeah, let's focus on tonight and making the most of tonight, shall we? With camp set up, we decided to explore the area a bit. We found some sort of castle and climbed up to the top to enjoy another magnificent African sunset. Back at camp, we got the fire going and prepared for another 5-star meal under the acacia trees. The camp was abuzz with activity, with the guys preparing to put a variety of meat on the braai, and the ladies preparing a salad and hot beverages. We'd have yet another long drive tomorrow, taking us another 635 kilometers west into the legendary Caprivi Strip, where we'd be camping right on the Kavango River with the hippos, crocodiles, and every other animal you can imagine. Make sure to subscribe to follow along on the journey, and we'll see you on the next one.